Live from Chicago Stadium in Chicago, Illinois, it's the Superpower Face-Off Series on Sports Channel America. Tonight's game featuring the Dinaмо Riga team from the Soviet Union against the Chicago Blackhawks. Hello again, everybody. Pat Foley and Dale Talon with you as the Blackhawks take on this Dinaмо Riga club that has played 4 times so far on their tour through North America. They are 1-2-1 so far. Where is Dinaмо Riga from in the Soviet Union? Rand McNally, our travel expert. I think you take a left turn at the Slauson cutoff.
Well, that's close enough. But Riga is in Latvia, and it's south of Estonia, if you're looking at the map, and it's a small town. Riga is a relatively new team in the National League, which is the elite league in the Soviet Union, and they're just got a bunch of young players that are trying to improve themselves to get up into the Red Army team or get into the national team and play in the Olympics and World Championships.
And one young player that has been raising all eyebrows on this tour is a 21-year-old goaltender.
Well, this is a very young club, inexperienced club, but the reason they've been competitive in every game is because of Artur Irbe. He's been brilliant. He stopped 40 shots in a 2-2 tie against Calgary, and he kept it very close in a 2-1 loss against Edmonton. He kept that firepower down to a minimal amount of chances. He's a great goaltender. They're looking for him to replace the legendary Vladislav Tretiak.
How have the Soviets changed their style? You were part of that Team Canada 72 that started this whole sequence off of international competition. How have they changed since then, adopting some of the North American patterns?
Well, in 72, they never shot from the points, and they never shot just to shoot the puck. They waited to the right time. They moved the puck back and forth and waited for the right chance. They never had maybe more than 20 shots a game. They had quality chances. Now, since that time in 72 and the early 70s, they've changed their style. They've adapted more to the North American style. You'll see them shoot the puck more from the point and take more shots, and even once in a while they'll dump it in instead of circling back and keeping possession as they do on the bigger ice surfaces. They change when they play this in a smaller rink.
It's the Chicago Blackhawks against Dinaмо Riga tonight. We'll come back with the starting lineups in a moment.
They are the elite teams of the Soviet League, Central Red Army and Dinaмо Riga. They're coming to North America to challenge the Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, New York Islanders, and more. East meets West in this clash of hockey titans. Thursday night, Bernie Federko and the St. Louis Blues defend their home ice against a Soviet invasion by Dinaмо Riga in the Superpower Face-Off. Live at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, exclusively on Sports Channel, Thursday.
Just the second time in history that a club from the Soviet Union has come in here to Chicago Stadium. Dinaмо Riga here tonight. The team, as we mentioned, comprised of many, many young players. There have been a few veteran players mixed in here, but most of this club comprised of players in their very early 20s. And now the captains for each club. Vladimir Durden, the senior citizen on this Dinaмо Riga team. He's 32 years old, and he exchanges a gift with the Chicago captain, Dirk Graham. Boy, the Blackhawks really went all out. They bought him a pennant.
Well, usually the Russians, they went overboard. Usually they give you a little stick or something or a pin.
Followed by the American national anthem.
All right, we'll give you the lineups in a moment. First, both the Soviet Union and the American national anthem.
Союз нерушенный, республик свободных, ступила навеки великая Русь, да здравствует созданный войны народов, великий могучий Советский Союз. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air, proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
A big crowd on hand tonight here in the stadium, and they are quite obviously excited about this international competition. That's as loud as the stadium crowd has been in several weeks.
Arthur Irbe gets the start. He is a 21-year-old goaltender, 5'7", 179 pounds. In league play, he's played 19 games with a meager 2.69 goals against average, and his NHL record in 4 previous games, 1-2-1 with a 3.18 goals against average. Ed Belfour getting the start, and he'll be taking over as the #1 goaltender for the Blackhawks with the injury to Darren Pang. 1-7-1 with a 3.94 goals against average.
The officials here tonight, Dan Maruelli is the referee, the linesman Dan Shakti and Ray Scampanello. The Blackhawks will open up with Adam Creighton at center between Wayne Presley and Steve Thomas. And the Soviets will open up with a line that doesn't normally play with this Dinamo Riga club. They came from Dinamo Moscow. They play as a line together. Semenov at center with Lomakin on the right and Yashin on the left.
These guys got a world of experience.
Here's the draw now. Dumped into the Riga zone. Irbe trying to clear it. Presley whacks it out of midair, but he did so with a stick above the shoulder and a whistle.
One thing the Blackhawks cannot do in this particular game is start to chase. The Russians never stop. They just keep circling the defense. The onus is on the defense as far as the Russians are concerned. You let them do all the dirty work, and the forwards are up high, cruising in the middle, waiting for that quick outlet pass.
Here's Steve Conroy. Trying to send it ahead. Broken up at the Soviet line. Semenov turning back of his own net. Anatoly Semenov rolls it up the boards. Presley steals, holding it in for Creighton. And then he handed it right back to Semenov. Now it's cleared to center. Yashin steps over the Hawk line, leaving for Lomakin. He shoots. He shot it just wide. Rebound to the goal mouth, and Belfour will cover it up there. I think we can expect to see, Dale, a high skill level from all of these Soviet players.
The basics, they work on the fundamentals so well. They're always passing and receiving passes while in full motion. Their defensemen move back. Their lateral motion is excellent. They keep, I think you got them beat and hemmed in, and all of a sudden a quick pass, and they all play the off wing, most of them do, and they're very good at either hand, backhand or forehand, at retrieving or making the pass.
Here's the draw to the Soviets. A long drive from Zinoyev, ripped wide, and now the Hawks look to move back. They're to center ice, and over the line comes Noonan, but Troy Murray was well ahead of the play. One thing we have not touched on yet, there's a big injury factor in this game for the Chicago Blackhawks. Many of their top guns unavailable tonight.
Starting with Darren Pang, you're missing Doug Wilson, Dennis Savard, Dan Vincelette.
The Blackhawks have had the injury bug catch up to him here in the last couple of weeks as Brown now shoots one in. Now back of the goal. Chudnow put it to the far side. Zanarok able to clear it to center. And it bounces up into the air there. Now Brown trying to flip it ahead. Chudnow steals. And the Soviets turn back. They'll do this a lot rather than dump it in. They'll turn back, maintain possession, and then try to get a rush going. Here they come now. Zanarok over the line, cuts for the net. He's forced in behind by Yanni. Zanarok trying to work it loose. Now took a hit in the corner. Still has it, though. Zanarok still able to control it despite a couple of hits. Now finally knocked away. Back out to center ice. Now Skozarev waiting as the Riga team is changing on the move, so he turns back in the neutral zone. Now finally controlled by Zinoyev in his own end, clearing it out to center ice. Believsky rolled it over the Hawk line. And now the pass from Akulinin broken up. Everett Sanapass got it to Dirk Graham. He was stopped as he came to the Riga line. Shot back into the Chicago zone. Ed Belfour puts it around the board. Now, here's a centering pass. Kurtz turns in behind the net. Now walks in front and fanned on the would-be shot. And here comes Sanapass. He's going to dump it in as the Hawks head for a player change. You can really see the contrast in the styles here, even in the first couple of minutes of the game. Now into the Chicago zone. Mike Eagles breaking up the rush. Unable to clear it, though. Manson for Conroy. Touch pass for Eagles. Eagles sets over the line, shooting. Irbe steers it up over the glass and into the crowd. Early in the game, there's no score. On Sports Vision at WBBM.
Well, you touched upon it, Pat, the different styles in the smaller rink are forced to dump and chase a lot here in the National Hockey League. Because of the bigger rinks, they just keep control. They go back and circle and wait for an opening.
Here comes Vito Lynch over the Chicago line. Poke check by Yanni. Then Vito Lynch got it back, trying to center it. Belfour picked it off, and he'll hold on. The Soviets now with a line out there comprised of 3 20-year-olds. Vito Lynch, Hates, and Tamanis. They're all 20-year-old kids.
The Soviets are not that big, but they're so strong and so well-conditioned and so strong on their feet. You think you can take runs at them, but you bounce off them. You can't be that physical against them. You have to eliminate them from getting back into the play, but you can't start running at them because you'll bounce off them and they'll make that little dump pass and you'll get caught.
The center on this line, Vito Lynch, standing 6'2", but you talk about size. The right winger, Hates, a rangy kid, 20 years old, standing 6'4". All right, here's the draw now. Manson fires it in. Mackey on the near side. Dave Mackey had it knocked away. Noonan held it in. Shot it behind the net. Murray. He's too well covered. And now Mackey on the far board. Took a bump but got help from Noonan. Put it to the line where Manson had to shoot it to the corner. Ryan Noonan works along the boards. Got it loose to Conroy. The long shot. He scores! Steve Conroy. I think that shot was going to miss the net. Irbe went to make the save anyway. I think he had it go off his stick and right into the goal. 1-0 Hawks.
I think it hit the inside part of that fat shaft of his stick and went in behind him, and it might have gone wide. Some good work along the boards. That's if you're going to be successful against this club. You have to work it in deep, and that's where they're vulnerable. The shot, clearly from our rear end camera, the shot would have gone wide. Excellent pickup there with that great camera location here at the stadium. Something that we miss dearly when on the road.
A rare soft goal given up by Artur Irbe. He's been spectacular throughout this series, and now here's a Soviet player dumped, and the Blackhawks are going to get a penalty. Well, the Dinamo Riga club will go to the power play. It's 1-0 Chicago on Sports Vision and WBBM.
Blackhawk penalty number.
They are the elite teams of the Soviet League, Central Red Army and Dinamo Riga. They're coming to North America to challenge the Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, New York Islanders, and more. East meets West in this clash of hockey titans. Saturday afternoon, Neil Broughton and the Minnesota North Stars test their mettle against the rising force in the Soviet Union, Dinámo Riga, in the Superpower Face-Off. Live at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central, exclusively on Sports Channel, Saturday.
Blackhawks score the first goal. Conroy from Noonan and Manson at 3:41. But 13 seconds later, Dirk Graham gets a penalty for tripping, and the Russians are excellent at the power play.
Sergei Salyanin back in his own end. His pass doesn't click. Manson broke it up. Then Salyanin got it back and lost it again to Larmer, who clears. Well, one thing about this Soviet team, socialism at its finest. With the way they've been on this tour, they don't have a power play unit per se. Whoever's line is up, you go out there and play. It's share and share alike.
Usually use 4 units of 5, but with the limitations of NHL rules, they had to pair 2 defensemen away, and they only have the 6 defensemen with the 4 lines.
Here's Lomakin working over the Hawk line. He's sent flying, then Chudinov held it in. Threw it to the far point. Taken there by Zinoyev. He gave it to Yashin, whose shot goes wide. Now Chudinov. Here's a long shot. That one missed the net. Rebound to the far board. Besson, he's able to clear it to center ice. 45 seconds left on the Soviet power play. Zanarok at center ice, trying to dump it in. A rare move for the Russians. He failed to do so, though, and McGill shot it back the other way.
You have to block off the middle of the ice at all times against them.
Now as they come over the line, the play is offside. A big hit against Skozarev, delivered by McGill, but the whistle had stopped the action.
Excellent penalty killing by the Blackhawks. They've shown great improvement in the last 2 or 3 weeks. But they've been aggressive up the middle, all through the ice. You have to be having someone right in the middle, as they like to circle through the middle. And if you can disrupt that figure 8 type motion of their forwards, you can be effective.
Here's the draw taken by Dave Manson, and he hammers it down the length of the ice. Vladimir Durden clearing it away to Akulinin. He got it to the line, but was knocked down there. The Soviets have to turn back at center, and Kirch now steps over the line. Belyavsky to the near side. Akulinin. The Hawk penalty is over. Both teams are back at full strength. Belyavsky dropped it to the line. Frolov shoots. He blasted it wide. Now Akulinin held it in. Got it into the corner. Belyavsky cuts in, and his shot goes up off the glass. And then Noonan able to push it to center ice. Dmitry Frolov comes into the Chicago zone, leaves for Belyavsky, unchecked, walks in, centered it, tipped, hit the goal post. Great play by Belyavsky, but the deflection from Frolov hit the post. The Russian defenseman was in deep in an unfamiliar area, and he nearly cashed in anyway. Here comes Adam Creighton, trying to walk in front, got it to Thomas, to the trailer, Yanni. Yanni into the corner, now turns behind the net, fought off a check. Yanni hanging on into the slot, centered one, here's a shot. Larmer's drive didn't get through, then Larmer got it back, shooting, tip, and it was blocked out in front, now a scramble, and the Russians able to come up with it. Frolov looking to clear and did get it to center ice. Brown dumping it in. Oh, Irbe was fooled on that as his defenseman Frolov had screened him. Irbe had to make what turned into a tough stop on what should have been a routine shot. Here the Hawks now. Santa pass. His speed broken up. Now cleared ahead. Paints over the Hawk line, walking in front. His shot deflects up into the crowd off of Yanni. 12 and a half to go in the first. It's 1-0 Chicago on Sports Vision and BBM.
This is Steve Stone on the road for Public Insurance. Jerry never thought he could get car insurance.
Other companies said no because I had an accident and a few tickets.
But Public said yes, so if you've been unlucky, call for a quote at 1-800-654-5554.
That was a great pitch, Steve.
Well, Chair, once a pitcher, always a pitcher. You know, maybe I'll make a comeback.
That's not the fountain of youth back there.
Oh.
Call Public Insurance. It's no problem.
Alexander Belyavsky is their leading scorer for Dinamo Riga. You can see why. What a great play. You give him that much time. He faked the shot into his defenseman. Frolov would pinched in, and he deflected it off the post. The Hawks got a break, and then right after that, they had the best pressure of the night against the Soviet team.
Now in the Chicago zone, there's a penalty going to be called as a wrestling match on the far side. Mike Stapleton involved there along with Alexander Smirnov.
Smirnov will get the holding penalty on Stapleton, and that's a name that's dear to my heart.
Smirnov?
Alexander.
Probably pretty dear to your liver, too, I would imagine.
So the Blackhawks get their first power play chance.
Dinaмо penalty, number 8, Alexander Smirnov. 2 minutes for holding at 7:39.
So 7:39, the penalty to Smirnov. His defense partner Stolshanaya is on the bench. Blackhawk power play in the regular season has had 52 power play goals and 234 chances, but has struggled lately.
Now cleared to the center ice area. Yanni turns there, looking to dump it in, couldn't do so. Now stolen away by Yashin to Semenov. Semenov will waste a little time, and now Riga clears it. Dave Manson sends Larmer on the right wing boards. Frolov knocked him off the puck. Thomas in after it to the corner. 4 players dueling there. Frolov wants to freeze it. Larmer looking to jam it out. Now Frolov came up with it. And Dmitry Frolov got it to center ice, where Semenov is harassed and lost it to Adam Creighton. Got it to the line, but was stopped there. And Manson turns at his own line. A minute to go on the Hawk power play. Manson into the Russian zone. Lead for Graham. The long shot. Irbe got a piece with the right pad. Rebound in behind. Santa pass. Got it to the far point. Conroy. Deep slot to Manson. Dave Manson near board for Graham. Back to Manson. Here's the long shot. Hit somebody in front. And Zanarok picks it up. And even while shorthanded, they wait. Now finally the Russians do clear it, and Ray Scampanello, the linesman, had to do a little dipsy doodle to get out of the way of that. Here's Graham over the line. Trying to center one, didn't get it through. Cassidy on the far board for Dirk Graham. His pass doesn't click, and Santa pass got to him. Santa pass, deep slot. Here's Cassidy with a shot right on. Irbe saves and gives no rebound.
Nice pass from Santa pass to Cassidy. Cassidy playing the right point. Didn't have a lot of time, couldn't slap it, so had to just wrist it to the front of the net. And Irbe saw it all the way, and he went down and made the save and left no rebound.
The broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Vision and WBBM by the Chicago Blackhawks solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the consent of Sports Vision or WBBM is prohibited.
11 seconds remaining on the power play. Hawks have had 6 shots on goal. The Dinamo Riga team has had 2.
Cassidy with a long drive. It's blocked. A penalty is going to be called. Noonan with a shot. That didn't get through. Now as it's controlled by Durden, the call will be made, and the Hawks will remain on the power play nearly halfway through the first. It's 1-0 Chicago on Sports Vision and WBBM.
Dmitry Frolov, a big, strong defenseman for the Dinamo Riga team, gets a penalty for tripping. He upended the Blackhawk player in front of the net. After the Hawks won the draw and the puck went to the right point, Frolov knocked down Creighton, I believe, and the Hawks get another power play chance. They'll have a 2-man advantage for 3 seconds.
Soviets able to win the draw. That gets their one skater back on. They're now still a man short. Here's Thomas trying to stuff it in. Couldn't do it. And now the Russians able to clear it down all the way. Trent Yanni for Larmer, stepping over the line. Throws it into the far corner. Semenoff couldn't get it out. Here's Yanni, the long shot, and a save by Yerbay, and a nice one there with Thomas right on the doorstep.
Terrific save. Yerbay getting his body in front of that, but distracted by Thomas, was still able to show great concentration. Lots of room at the point. The wrist shot right on target. Thomas was just unable to get a piece of it. Steve Thomas with 20 goals in 38 games in regular season play.
Face off to the right of Yerbay as Murray comes on between Santa Pass and Presley. Here's the draw. Back of the net it goes. Silianen able to clear it back into the Chicago zone. Now Manson knocked down. Here's a drive, and that one was shot wide. Silianen back in his own end. Cleared to center. Taken by Trent Yanni. Yanni now works it over the line on a pick play as Semenoff was rubbed off by Santa Paz. Then Yanni hammered in the corner. Then Santa Paz dug it out. Flipped it in front. Here's a shot. Yerbay, big save on Yanni. Rebound back of the net. Now Presley digging it out. Presley to the far point. Manson. Here's the shot. Didn't get it through. Rolled loose in front. One of the Soviets has lost a 6. But Semenoff came up with it and clears the center ice. 40 seconds left on the Hawk power play. Presley over the line. Lost the handle along the boards. It's cleared back to the Chicago zone. Here's Bruce Cassidy. Cassidy in over the Russian line, trying to split the defense. He did, but then his backhander just deflected wide off of Chudnow. Back of the net goes Thomas. Steve Thomas. Near circle to Cassidy. Now to the line. Conroy a long drive. Yerbay kicks that up over the glass and into the crowd.
Hawk Pointman getting lots of room. Soviet Union not stationary by any means. They're all over the place. They chase the puck. Tough to intimidate the Soviet team. Very physical when called upon, and some of them more so than others, just as it is over here. They're very physical when called upon. Hawks with good pressure on the power play, but only 11 seconds remaining on their second straight power play.
Here's the draw to McGill, a long drive. Yerbay stopped that rebound. Should have been a hand pass, a shot, and a save by Yerbay. Stapleton had a good chance off of what looked to be a hand pass, and the Hawks may have gotten a break.
Right off the draw, the Hawks successful off faceoffs with his glove to head by Basson. The backhand shot by Stapleton should have been a whistle on that situation, but very well, he didn't make the call, and the Blackhawks came within whiskers of making it 2-0. Now the face-off in the neutral zone, for what reason I don't know. Yerbay made the save on the shot by Stapleton, and the face-off by right should be deep in the Riga zone.
Penalty is over now. Both teams back at full strength as the Hawks dump it in. Back of the net, big hit by Eagles, knocking down Durden. Now they scramble in the corner, and the two Russians run into one another, but maintain control as Frolov able to fight off a check from his own man, and here are the Russians offside on the rush. 8 minutes to go in the first. It's 1-0 Blackhawks on Sports Vision and BBN. From the draw, the play in the Chicago zone. Dave Mackey on the near board. Rolled it in behind the net. Yanni Cleared it to the far corner. Durden is in deep, trying to center, hit the side of the goal. Now the near side. Kirch right up along the boards, but dug it out. Here's a drive and a save by Belfour. His best of the game on Igor Akulinen. Roy Murray chips it back into the Riga zone. Now it's cleared to center ice. Kurtz rolled it over the line. Valyevsky a shot, and Manson deflects that wide. Over to the far side. Here's Valyevsky digging it out. Turns in behind the net. And leaves it there, but missed Kurtz with it. And Dave Manson here's it into the Dinamo Riga zone. Bouncing around on the far side, then corralled by Vita Lynch. Now over the Hawk line it comes. A long shot deflects wide as Tomanis tried to let one go, and there's Graham able to clear it to center. Adam Creighton steps over the line. Creighton threw it through to the far side. It bounced away from Larmer, but at the line is McGill. Here's the long shot, deflecting into the corner. Taken by Graham. Dirk Graham along the board. Brings it around to the far corner. McGill in deep. McGill tied up. Then Creighton looks to dig it out. And then it's knocked away back to the center ice area. Bruce Cassidy right back in over the line. Feeding Thomas. The drive. He just missed the far post by an inch with a rocket. It appeared to have Irving beaten. Here comes Hayes for the Soviets. Trying to set him on a shot by Semenoff, and a save by Belfour. Rebound to Thomas on left wing. Thomas over the line, trying to stick handle around it. Chuck unable to do it. Then back is Semenoff. Or Yashin over the Hawk line. Yashin dancing in behind the net. Still has it, walking to the slot. Semenoff's shot is blocked. Belfour got caught in no man's land. A centering pass lay loose, and then Thomas pulled down, and a penalty will be called. The Soviets will be short-handed again. It's 1-0 Chicago on Sports Vision and BBM.
Third straight penalty called against Dinamo Riga. Lomakin pulled down Steve Thomas. He would have had a clear-cut breakaway from the hash marks, but he was upended, and the Hawks with their third straight power play. Pass from Cassidy to Thomas. He just missed the far post by an inch just prior to the penalty call. Lomakin, one of the senior citizens on this club at 24, and he's got a little experience with the '87 Canada Cup and the last Olympics in Calgary.
Dave Manson on the Chicago power play. Carries the mail to center and shoots it in. Shooting off back. Looking to clear it, then Larmer held it in as Chudnov was run over by Mackey. Now here's a long shot blocked at the defense. Rebound to the far side. I said Mackey, was Creighton actually that had words with Chudnov. And now Chudnov just spit at him, I think. Chudnov, as the puck went in, the crowd just appeared to spit at Adam Creighton.
They haven't changed much in that department since 1972. They used to jab you in the back of the leg where you had no protection in the back of the knee, kick you in the back of the calf with their skates, and also spit at you whenever you take a good run or hit at them. Creighton flattened Chudnov in the corner after Manson let the shot go. And then as the whistle blew, Chudnov spit right at Creighton. Now, these guys don't have the best breath in the world either.
Now the draw. Clear to the far point. Manson holding it in. Dave Manson put it outside the line as he stick handled, and good call by linesman Dan Shakti, who was right there.
Minute 22 remaining on the third straight penalty. Lomakin in the penalty box for hooking. 4:43 to go in the first period, and the Hawks have had 10 shots on goal. The Riga team has had 4. Their last 2, though, were excellent scoring chances. Belfour with a good save on Akulinen and a good one on Semenoff.
Gretzky is ruled to be offside as he touches it. That's the third time in this period that the Soviets have been whistled for an offside. They've gone entire games without having an offside call.
Well, they'll get a lot of two-line offside passes because their forwards are up so high. They go for that long bomb a lot of the times.
And they're certainly not used to playing in quarters that are this confined as they are here in the stadium.
It's like playing in the closet compared to their...
Face off to the left of Irbe. The draw taken by Manson. Trying to center it, deflects to Thomas. His shot. Irbe, nice save. Rebound, Thomas in behind. Steve Thomas moves to the boards with it. Now another penalty is going to be called as Creighton was going for position. He and Frolov, I think, both got the elbows up. And there will be coincidental penalties coming here. Dmitry Frolov, 22 years old. 6'4", 214, and he and Adam Creighton, another big man, were going at it hot and heavy in the slot.
Well, Frolov doesn't appear to me that he's intimidated by anyone, and he likes to play the game very aggressively, taking advantage of his size. He also has good skills. Tough to move Adam Creighton from in front. Creighton 6'5".
Frolov, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Finally coming after Steve Thomas had another good chance. Shot from the point, deflected off Creighton's skate right to Thomas. He let it go, and it appears to me that Irbe is a lot stronger to his left than he is to his right, the right side being his stick side. The coincidental minors coming at 15:37, still a minute, 2 seconds remaining on Lamakin's hooking penalty.
Santa pass out there between Larmer and Thomas. Now here's the draw to Manson. A drive right on Irbe. Rebound. A shot. And they score. Irbe got a piece of Larmer's rebound, but it trickled in behind him. And the Hawks on the power play make it 2-0.
The Hawks are dominant in the offensive zone on faceoffs. They've won practically every faceoff, and they've had all kinds of time from the point. They've had numerous chances from the point, winning faceoffs cleanly. Santa pass aided by Larmer. The shot from the point right on. The rebound. Thomas is there. Larmer fading away, finally gets to it. Lets it go as he's falling to his left. Irbe diving back, got a piece of it, but it had enough steam to trickle across the line. 2-0 Blackhawks.
Here's the draw taken by the Soviets. Now a centering pass, rolling loose in the slot. A big scramble there. Everybody hacking at it. And it's shot free to center. Eagles will get there. Eagles in over the line. Tied up along the boards. And cleared away. Taken by Stozarev. He couldn't clear it, though. Eagles into the corner. Got help from Stapleton. Chudinov stepped into him. Now puck came free to Chudinov. Rolled it over to the far side. Hawks able to hold it in. Here's Noonan. He's crushed by 2 Soviet players. And now Big Hates able to get it to the center ice area. Here's Vitalich over the Hawk line, trying to center it. Broken up by Belfour. Back of the goal it goes. Now, big scramble there. Troy Murray after it had it knocked to the slot, but it's covered there by Belfour.
Steve Larmer. Assisted by number 3, Dave Manson, and number 7, Everett Sanapaz at 15:44.
Well, a rarity from what we've been hearing about Artur Irbe. The first goal that he allowed, a bad goal, clearly a shot that was going to miss the net. He went to stick it away anyway, and it hit the inside of his stick, it appeared, and bounced in. And then that goal, the second Hawk goal, a rebound, and he ordinarily has been very good at not giving up rebounds, but he managed to cough one up there. Now the draw in the Hawk zone. Troy Murray bumped along the boards. Big Hates able to dig it loose. Hates looking to center, broken up and cleared back into the center ice area. Troy Murray over the line, but Graham had been trapped offside on the play.
Hates only 20 years old. Left-handed shot, playing the right side. Big lanky right winger. He looks like he's got a great future. Reminds me a bit of the great star they had, Yakashev, except doesn't have that funny looking shoulder pad that Yakashev used to wear.
Now the draw in the neutral zone. Taken by Manson, and he dumps it in. Durden put it over to the far side. Taken by Tomanis. Tomanis in over the Hawk line, was turned around though, and Soviets will have to regroup at center ice. Vito Lynch gave it to Vladimir Durden. Has he ever had a pile of ice time here in this first period? Seemingly out there the entire night. Here's Hates over the line. And he is knocked off the play as Manson took a run at him and separated him from the puck with a big hit. Larmer clearing it to center ice. Chudinov. His pass broken up. Shot back into the Riga zone. Chudinov clearing it up the middle. Taken by Kirch over the line. Kirch with a shot. Belfour got a piece with the left shoulder. Rebound taken by Kirch, side of the net. Walks in behind. Kirch hanging on. And the net knocked off the moorings, and Keith Brown should have gotten a penalty because of that, I think. But getting a break from referee Maroelli.
Kirch in behind the net. Both Hawk defense had their back to the front of the net, trying to make up their mind who should go after Kirch, but finally the net knocked off its moorings by Brown. Who said it, they get away with one, but here's a Manson hit on Hates. Hates trying to make a move, and Manson didn't go for it. Just about got all of Hates and got the worst of it, but broke up the play nicely.
Igor Akulinin and Troy Murray for the draw, which Murray wins to Brown. Minute and a half to go in the period. 2-0 in favor of the Hawks. As it's cleared over the line, Dave Mackey forced into the corner. Now everybody hacking away at it. 4 players doing battle. Akulinin cleared it over to the far side. Chudinov shot it out to center ice, and Brown just ran over a man there. Clearly a penalty. The puck had not reached Beliavsky yet, and Brown just leveled him.
Brown standing up, trying to take a pinch, take a chance. The long pass, they're famous for that long pass. It was behind him. Pass by Kirch. Their forwards are up so high. Brown was up at the red line. He flattened him before he touched the puck. Well, penalty in the second power play for Riga. Had a power play at 3:54 of the first period. Didn't score on it. Didn't have any good chances on it either. The Hawks with a 2-0 lead would like to kill off this first minute and 8 seconds of the Riga power play to end the period.
Ready. Here's the draw. Taken by Dave Manson. Has some room to center. Manson cranks along one and shot it wide. Into the final minute of the period. Here's Lomakin on the right wing board. Dropping it back to Selyanin. Sergei Selyanin. To Lomakin over the Chicago line. Dropped it for Selyanin. Put it to the far point. Smirnoff is there trying to center one. Deflected right on. Nice save by Belfour is Yashin. That may have been a double deflection. And Yashin appeared to get a piece, maybe Semenoff also.
The wrist shot coming from the point was a pass. But I believe it was Semenoff that deflected it first, and Yashin was standing on the doorstep. And a tough save for Belfour, even though the shot didn't have a lot of steam on it. Belfour hasn't had a lot of tough saves, or a lot of shots, I should say, but he's had a few tough saves.
Half a minute to go in the period. Here's the draw. Smirnoff rolled it to the neutral of the slot area. Came through to the near side. Elianen to the deep slot. Here's a long drive. Belfour stopped it. Rebound laying loose. Chopped loose to the near side. Elianen moves in. Fires. Didn't get it through. Lomakin in the near corner. Lomakin put it to the side of the net. Yashin centered it. Picked off at the defense. Now 5 seconds for the period. Semenoff trying to center it. Belfour picked it off. Holds it. 1 second left to go.
Hawks have been very physical, but they've been controlled. They haven't taken a lot of unnecessary runs at the Russians. It's very easy to do when you play them once. You get very emotional when talking about communism and democracy, and sometimes that you get running around, get a little too emotional, and get carried away with the stick and the physical part of the game, and you forget about the real agenda here, and that's winning the game. It's Trent Yanni in the stare down and behind the net. Yanni, I think the only Hawk player that's had any experience against international competition, having played with the Canadian Olympic team last year.
Now just 1 second to go in the period. Semenoff on his backhand will have to try to shoot it right in. He can't do it, and that'll do it for the opening period. So an excellent start to this game for the Blackhawks. Steve Conroy got a gift as Archer Irbe redirected a shot that was going to go wide into his own net. Conroy, assisted by Noonan and Manson at 3:41 to get the Blackhawks out in front. And then on a Chicago power play, Steve Larmer picking up a rebound, scooped in a backhander. Larmer from Manson and Sanapass at 15:44 to put the Blackhawks up a pair. Chicago had 13 shots in the period, and Dinamo Riga had 8. Stay with us. News, weather, and sports is coming up on the radio side. On television, a feature on something Dale Talon had a hand in starting, international competition that really began with that Super Series in 1972. Dale, a member of that Team Canada squad. All that in our first intermission at the end of one. Blackhawks 2, Dinamo Riga nothing.
It's very difficult to break up in the middle of a schedule and play a highly competitive game against a team from the Soviet Union, but I think it's great for hockey, and I think you learn from it. I think the most important thing that ever happened to me in my life was the 1972 Team Canada situation. It was a thrill of my career, and I also had a chance to go back to the Soviet Union in '79, and I learned from both those situations, and I think it's great for hockey, and it's also great as far as teaching you a lot of things about the rest of the world. Here, after one period of play, it's the Chicago Blackhawks 2, Dinamo Riga nothing. Stay tuned. Pat and I will be back with highlights after these messages.
After 20 minutes, a 2-0 Chicago lead over Dinamo Riga, and the old announcer's curse comes through again. We start raving about Archer Irbe. He was not as sharp in this first period as we would have expected.
Well, the first shot that he let in was going wide of the net by a couple of inches, and he went out to play it and stuck the stick out. And good work by Brian Noonan along the boards. The Hawks very aggressive, a controlled aggression though, and didn't take any dumb penalties. The puck back to the point. After Noonan took the hit, it squirted back to Conroy. Conroy doesn't have a bullet of a shot, but he has an excellent shot right on. It looked like it was going to go wide and hit the shaft of his stick and went in behind him, so the Hawks got a break early, and that's exactly what you need. You need to get up front against these Russian clubs to frustrate them. And the Blackhawks really put a lot of pressure on the Soviet team especially in the offensive zone. They took the body, and good hitting by Noonan, accepting the hit to keep the play alive, and the Hawks got a break. Conroy from Noonan and Manson at 3:41. Hawks winning a lot of faceoffs in the offensive zone in this hockey game. The shot by Manson after Sanapass won the draw, the rebound to Larmer after Thomas eliminated the defenseman, and Irbe was down, got a piece of it, but not enough of it, and the Blackhawks with a 2-0 lead, an excellent period, exactly where they want to be against a very good hockey team.
We're through 20 minutes, second period action in a moment.
Are the elite teams of the Soviet League, Central Red Army and Dinamo Riga. They're coming to North America to challenge the Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, New York Islanders, and more. East meets West in this clash of hockey titans. Thursday night, Bernie Federko and the St. Louis Blues defend their home ice against a Soviet invasion by Dinamo Riga in the Superpower Face-Off. Live at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, exclusively on Sports Channel, Thursday.
Blackhawks have a 2-0 lead over Dinamo Riga as we get ready to start the second period. Good first period for Chicago. They benefited from a difficult period for the Soviet goaltender, Artur Irbe, who was not as sharp in that first period as we might have expected. Letting in the first goal that went in would have gone wide of the net, and he redirected it into his own goal. And the second goal, he gave up a rebound, although it was a tough chance to handle in the first place. He did give up a rebound, which he is not prone to do, and Steve Larmer made him pay for that. The Soviets had just 8 shots on goal. That ordinarily, Dale, as you pointed out, not a real measure of their offensive chances. A high percentage of their shots are normally very good opportunities.
They don't shoot the puck that often from the point, but I saw them in the first period do it more often than they've ever done it. They usually hang on. They had one good chance early. Frolov hit the post as Beliashki got him the puck. He deflected it off the post. Akulinin on a backhand. Belfour had a couple of tough saves, but came up with good saves. Meanwhile, the Hawks are shorthanded for the first 52 seconds of the second period. If they're able to kill it off and continue in the same style that they fashioned in the first period, they'll be in good shape. Tune in to Sports Vision every Monday night at 10:30 to catch up on the world of hockey on Talkin' Hockey with Mike Keenan. Join Pat, Mike, and myself for an in-depth look at the NHL along with Blackhawk highlights every Monday at 10:30 and Tuesday at 7 on your home for the NHL, Sports Vision.
Ed Belfour faced 8 shots in the first period, stopped them all. And Artur Irbe faced 13 shots in the period and had 11 saves. We mentioned the Soviets will start the second period with a power play for almost a minute.
Black Sox, Keith Brown has 52 seconds remaining to serve on a minor penalty.
And it'll be Graham and Larmer coming out to forecheck with Manson and Conroy at the defense. And again, that veteran Soviet line will open up here. Semenov centering for Lomakin and Yashin. These are 3 players who play together on Dinamo Moscow. So this line recruited from Dinamo Moscow to help out this Riga club on this North American tour. Here's the draw now. And Semenov now tries to gain the line. He's tied up. And it results in an offside play.
Semenov putting himself offside. Good defensive play by the Blackhawk defense, standing up at the line. You can't give these guys the blue line and let them get possession in the offensive zone. Our next Blackhawk game on Sports Vision will be Saturday at 6:30. The Hawks take on the Washington Capitals. Join Pat and myself live from the Cap Center at 6:30 on Sports Vision and 6:20 on WBBM.
Draw taken by Riga's Sergei Selyanin. His pass broken up. And Smirnov in his own end. On a feather and head picked off by Basson. A shot and a save by Irbe. Rebound to the Soviets. Lomakin on right wing. Weaves over the hawk line. Stopped there as Conroy stood up beautifully at the defense. Now Yashin dumping it in. That's the first time tonight the Riga team has dumped in the puck. They attempted to once but were thwarted. That time they did dump it in, the first time in the game. The hawk penalty now is over. Both teams are back at full strength as Adam Creighton puts Presley over the line, trying to center it. Broken up at the defense. And Durden shot it back into the Chicago zone, and a rare icing call made here against Dinamo Riga.
The owner of a 1985 blue Cadillac.
The Hawks can keep on in this style for the next 4 or 5 shifts, 4 or 5 minutes. This Riga club might be disheartened.
13. That's the owner of a 1985 blue
23-year-old Igor Akulinin.
License 782-125.
Out there to go against Adam Creighton for the draw. Face-off shot over to the far side. Yanni held it in. Trying to clear it up the boards. It hit referee Marawelli. Now back of the net it goes. Taken by Alexander Kurtz. Trying to clear it. McGill held it in. Over to the far side. Beliavsky drops it in his own end. Out to center for Kirch, beating Akulinin. Akulinin over the hawk line to Kirch. He's knocked off the play by Presley. And Bassett, a quick outlet, taken by Thomas over the line. Fires, and a save by Irbe. Putting it into the far corner. Rebound, Frolov. Got it to the near side. Here's Kirch. Kirch into the Chicago zone. Had it knocked away. Bouncing free to the near side. Beliavsky tried to take a dive, but the play continues, and Manson out for Chicago. Dave Manson steps over the line. Rolled it to Conroy, whose pass is picked off. Zanarok coughed it up to Bassett. A shot, and Irbe standing tall makes the save and covers it up. Early in the second period, 2-0 Chicago on Sports Vision and BBM.
They are the elite teams of the Soviet League, Central Red Army and Dinamo Riga. They're coming to North America to challenge the Edmonton Oilers, Los Angeles Kings, New York Islanders, and more. East meets West in this clash of hockey titans. Saturday afternoon, Neil Broughton and the Minnesota North Stars test their mettle against the rising force in the Soviet Union, Dinamo Riga, in the Superpower Face-Off. Live at 2:30 Eastern, 1:30 Central, exclusively on Sports Channel, Saturday.
The Dinamo Riga team very shaky in the early going in their own zone. I think those hits that the Hawks distributed in the first period are starting to pay dividends. 2 giveaways in the last 2 shifts.
Last couple of games for the Blackhawks. Everett Santapass is a newly found centerman for Mike Keenan, a career left winger. Santapass had a couple shifts in the middle of the last Hawk game, and he's been there tonight for a good part of the action. Santapass now between Larmer and Graham. Here come the Soviets over the line. Hates battles to the slot, then couldn't pull the trigger. Santapass took it away, coughed it up, and then the Soviets couldn't get off a shot. Here comes Larmer. Larmer in over the line. Bumped along the board. Hates took a hit from Graham. Larmer pried it loose to Cassidy and drive. Right on! Nice save by Artur Irbe. A quick gloved hand there.
Once again, a good hit by the Blackhawks forces Riga to give it up in their own zone. A shot on goal. Larmer with a soft backhand pass to Cassidy. A mattress pass. Just lays on it, but a quicker and a better save by Irbe. No one in front, so he saw it all the way. Excellent start for Chicago. Very physical in their forechecking role, and they've forced the Riga team to give it up.
Vladimir Yurzanov, the Soviet coach. Now the draw. Cleared into the far corner. Murray trying to muscle his way in front, couldn't do it. And it's picked up by Lomakin. Clearing to center, Semenov over the line, got around McGill, cuts right in, shoots, and a save by Belfour. And he covers it up.
Samanoff, an experienced player, is 26 years old. He's played in 2 Canada Cups, played in the 88 Olympics. 79, he played against Vancouver. He played against Winnipeg and Washington in 80, so he knows what to expect against most National Hockey League clubs.
And we mentioned this line that he centers Samanoff with Lomakin and Yashin from that Dinamo Moscow club. In their careers, they've scored nearly 300 goals as a line, 292 goals between these 3 players in games in the Soviet National League and international competition. So they are the most experienced forward line for this Riga team. Now the play in the Soviet zone, back of the net. Murray took a hit from Smirnov, then Noonan dug it out. Rolled it back behind the goal. Troy Murray trying to center one, knocked away from Noonan. Then Manson held it in, poked off his stick, and Lomakin, and lost it to Noonan. And as he carried it over the line, Mackey barely offside on the play.
Good shift. Troy Murray at center with Mackey and Noonan on the right side. They just controlled the puck the entire time they were on that shift, and all of it in the Riga zone. Team and most of these Soviet teams play about 40 games a year, regular season games. Then they have a round-robin tournament, but they gear most of their playing to tournaments. They don't wear themselves out in the regular season play. They just key on Olympics and World Cup tournaments like that.
You made an interesting point I want to get into about the way Soviet youth are brought up to play hockey, and let's get into that when we have a few seconds. I think maybe some North Americans could learn a little. Here's the play in the Russian zone, and it's shot down into the Hawk end, taken by Yanni. Trent Yanni gave it to Steve Thomas. Thomas carries it over the Russian line in traffic, then he got back to the loose puck, trying to center one, didn't get it through. He and Durden battled along the boards, and now it came free to center ice. Roloff back in his own end. Is tied up and cleared it to center. Now taken by Durden. Vladimir Durden. Got it to the left wing board. Belyavsky tied up then. Zanarok helped out. Put it over the Hawk line. Marianov lost the handle, and here come the Blackhawks out. Basson, his pass missing, Stapleton. And Zinoyev back of his own net, but a delayed offside call will stop the action here. We played just over 5 minutes of the second. 2-0 Chicago on Sports Vision and WBBM. Pat Foley and Dale Talon in Chicago Stadium. Tell me about the way the Soviet youth learned to play hockey.
Well, up until they're 13 years old, they don't keep any statistics on wins, losses, goals, or assists. They just play the game. They teach them the fundamentals, and there's no statistics involved. There are no statistics involved. Something that maybe some Little League people in hockey should maybe take into consideration.
Boy, a point well taken and well made. While the systems may be vastly different, I think
you can learn from both.
That's exactly right. Culturally, there are some things that we can learn from the Soviets and vice versa. And that could be one. That's what a great idea, and how many problems would be saved if the youth in any sport just learn to enjoy the game. Yeah, no burnout. Learn to enjoy the game. Learn the fundamentals. And there's plenty of time for the games to count as your life goes along. Why pressure a kid when he's 10 years old and 12 years old? Here's the play in the center ice area. Chudinov up the boards for Haight. His pass broken up, and Tomanis got it back. Haight's over the line, and he lost it to Basson. Rolling it out to center ice. Now, Vito Lynch run over by Stapleton, and they have a little battle along the boards, but the play continues as Tomanis. His back pass broken up. Mackey over the line for Noonan. The return pass didn't get through. And here come the Soviets. Tomanis into the Chicago zone, then handed it right to Keith Brown. Clearing it into the Russian end. Here's Noonan. A stick got caught between the blade and the boot. Noonan went down, but the play continued. And it's shot down into the Chicago zone. And an icing call made here against Riga.
Well, the fans booing with no call there. The Noonan was upended. The Blackhawks have had 3 power plays to the Riga 2 power plays. Noonan had a chance. He poked it by Smirnoff, and Smirnoff hooked him, but got the blade of his stick caught between the blade and the boot. That little opening there. It's very rare that that happens, but Noonan went down. No penalty call. The fans upset with no call.
Here's the draw to Cassidy. Brings it around the boards. Thomas in behind. Steve Thomas. Tied up now. Creighton helping out. Adam Creighton bumped by Semenoff, who took it away. And Frolov able to clear it to center right. Semenoff over the Hawk line. Turns along the boards, rolling it in deep. Lomakin took a hit from Cassidy. Now chipped loose, held in by Semenoff. He is centered one, a tip, and a save by Belfour. Yashin in the slot. Redirected it, I think, or it may have hit McGill, but at any rate, a tough stop for Belfour.
The Soviet players are experts at tip-ins. The defense always look for a tip-in. They don't look always to score or shoot on net. They look for a player for a possible deflection. Great deflection, excellent save by Belfour, who's been sharp. Semenoff letting the shot go, and it was deflected by the stick in front of Yashin.
2-0 in favor of the Hawks with 12 minutes to go in the second period. There's another exhibition game tonight. The Soviet Red Army team is in Pittsburgh, and the Penguins also lead there by a score of 2-0 in the second.
Overall, these two teams are 4-2-2. The 8 games they played, it'll be a 14-game schedule. Both teams total.
Durden's shot is blocked back to center ice. Now Dirk Graham turns there to Manson. His pass picked off by Durden. Now Semenoff takes a long flip shot. Belfour put it to the corner, and Manson. Dave Manson feeds Sanapass, whose lead is a 2-line effort to Larmer. Just under 12 minutes for period 2. It's 2-0 Hawks on Sports Vision and BBN. Now the draw taken by Trent Yanni. Clearing it into the Riga zone. Irbe trying to get it out, couldn't do it. Came to the near side and now deflects to center ice. And they'll hem it up along the boards. No, the whistle sound.
Hawks are doing an excellent job of cutting off the passing lanes. The NHL is on Sports Vision. Our next league game will be Sunday at 7 o'clock, live from the Northlands Coliseum, when the Edmonton Oilers take on the Calgary Flames. It's exclusively on Sports Vision, your home for the NHL.
Now the draw, shot into the Riga zone. Zanarok, who deflects to center ice. Akulinen, a delayed penalty coming up here against the Hawks as the Soviets dump it in. And Hawks control, so the whistle sound. And Dinamo Riga to the power play. They trail 2-0 on Sports Vision and BBN.
Cassidy takes a roughing penalty. He took the body and then was pushed from behind, and then got the glove up, and Maruelli calls a roughing penalty on Cassidy at 8:58. Riga get their 3rd power play.
Zanarok wins the draw. On the far side, Varianov put it to the slot, a long drive, fell for the save, rebound, shot just wide as Skosarev had a chance. Now Beliavsky to the deep slot, here's a drive, that missed the net as the radar of Zinioev was off. Now over to the far point it goes, Beliavsky. Put it to the near point. Chudnov's long drive. Belfour sticks it into the corner. Back to the line, Chudnov. Trying to center it, a shot. That shot wide by Beliavsky, and Bass on the rebound, able to clear it. Now Larmer a steal. Working over the Riga line, then flips it too high over the glass into the crowd.
Every shot coming from the point man, and both shots wide of the net. The Hawks are able to clear on both occasions. Right-handed point man Zinoyev let it go from the middle of the blue line. Belfour made the first save, but the next shot just wide, hitting the end boards, and the Hawks' Basson was able to clear. Troubled coach Verzinov behind the bench.
Now the draw taken by Brown. He clears. Semenov deep in his own end. Up the middle to Yashin. Sergei Yashin over the Hawk line. Far side, Lomakin to the near point, Smirnov, his shot deflected over the glass into the crowd as Larmer got out to the point man.
Larmer out there with Graham. Excellent work by both those forwards on this penalty killing situation, forcing the Riga team at the blue line, and Smirnov trying a long shot. Larmer with a good move to get the stick in front of it. 29 seconds remaining on the roughing penalty.
Two to nothing in favor of the Hawks as the draw off to the right of Belfour. Now the face-off rolls to the goal mouth. Belfour sweeps it to the far side. Larmer. He's unable to clear it at the line. Smirnov held it in. Now Selianin. Selianin to the deep slot. Now a long wrist shot hits somebody in front, and it's underneath a fallen McGill, and the whistle sounds it again. Soviets having to utilize the point men.
And something they're not normally prone to do is shoot from the point. Selianin kept the play alive by pinching in and then moved back to the point. Let a wrist shot go. All he was hoping for was a deflection. But McGill got in front of it. And then Belfour came and made sure that it didn't squirt loose after Manson was in a battle in front. Six seconds remaining. Hawks able to win this faceoff. They'll be out of trouble as far as the power play is concerned.
Now the draw taken by Brown. Beats Brown, a long shot, missing the net. And the penalty is over. Both teams are back at full strength. Zanarok ahead for Varianov. Rolling it over the Chicago line. Skosarev hammered along the boards by Yanni. Now came loose to Presley. And he slides it to center. Here's Thomas racing over the line. 3-on-2. Comes for the net. He's had it poked away by Irbe, but a penalty will be coming up as beaten on the play. Zinoyev just grabbed Thomas and rode him all the way into the net. The Hawks to the power play. They lead it 2-0 on Sports Vision at BBN.
Zinoyev put the clamps on Steve Thomas with a burst of speed on the off wing. Thomas didn't realize he had two players with him. Zinoyev just rides him into the net. The net goes flying off its moorings, and the Hawks get their fourth power play. They're 1 for 3. Hawks ahead 2-0 and looking to add to that lead. The man advantage.
Here's the draw. Creighton won it to Manson. Run it to the near side. Larmer back to Manson at the line. Far point, Yanni brings it around the board. Larmer gave it to Manson, moving in, fires, hit somebody in front, and Riga unable to clear it. Creighton on the far side, flipped it for Larmer, the shot blocked at the defense. Great play by Dirk. He sprawled to block a good scoring chance from Larmer, and now the Riga team able to clear it. Steve Larmer out to center. Larmer steps over the line. His pass broken up, and Thomas steals right in, shoot! That shot wide. It rolled to Larmer, and he just barely missed the net. Here's a tip, and Larmer's deflection just barely missed the near post. Now out come the Soviets. Frolov. Dmitry Frolov over the Hawk line, shorthanded, then knocked down. Here's a 3-on-1 Hawk rush. Presley moving in, fires. Missed the net. Wayne Presley with a 3-on-1, had the blinders on, and fired one well high and well wide. And now the Hawks dump it in offside.
A 3-on-1 situation, you got to make at least one pass, a quick pass, to make the defenseman commit. Presley looked to his left and then tried to shoot it to the short side. Prior to that, though, Larmer splitting the defense, passed it across to Thomas. Thomas all alone in close, makes the move, slips it across to Larmer. His shot, I think, it got a piece of Irbay and it deflected wide. What a desperation save by Irbay on that nice play from Thomas to Larmer. A 3-on-1 situation, you got to move the puck.
There's the draw to Conroyd. Or Graham over the line, trying to cut for the net. He's forced in behind. Now Sanapat. Everett Sanapat. Turns on the near board. Rolled it loose into the corner at Presley. Out to the line and Cassidy. Gave it back to Presley. Presley hanging on. Trying to center it. Handed it right to Smirnoff, who cleared. Turned around, trying to chop it, did to Stapleton, who shoot, and a save by Irbay as Basson tried to redirect it into the corner. It goes. Now Eagles looking to jam it out of there, and the Soviets are able to cover it up as Akulinin was down on the ice.
Hawks getting some great chances on this power play, but unfortunately nothing to show for it. Some quality chances from point-blank range. Irbay had a shaky start, but he's really settled into a groove ever since that second goal. Pittsburgh ahead of Red Army 4-2 in the third period. The combined total for wins and losses and ties was 4 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties in favor of the two Soviet teams.
Now Stapleton works it back to the Soviet goal. Both teams back at full strength as the Hawks Eagles turned around by Dirk. Turned it over to the far side. Now back to Dirk, who shot it into the Chicago zone. Taken by Trent Yanni. His pass deflecting to Dave Mackey, who dumps it in. Vladimir Dirk, left wing to Yashin. Dropping it for Lomakin in his own end. Lomakin coughed it up to Murray. Now Mackey to the corner. That is taken away by Semenoff, but he couldn't get it out. Manson a long shot and a nice save by Irbay. Rebound cleared back to center ice. Now Dinamo Riga with Semenov stepping into the Hawk zone for Yashin to Lomakin around Manson right in. He shoots and a save by Belfour. And they score. He thought he had covered the puck up, but it apparently trickled in behind him and then was stuffed in by the Soviet player, and Belfour may be shaken up on the play. It's 2-1 in favor of the Hawks after it appeared that Belfour had made a terrific save and covered, but then it was jammed into the open goal.
Hawks with tremendous pressure and even strength have dominated play, but the Soviet team is so able to explode in a hurry. Some great passing by the veteran line from Dinamo Moscow. Picked up the play with Riga. The puck was apparently put under Belfour by Conroy, but somehow it was squirted loose and poked in after a late whistle by Marawelli. Marawelli was reluctant to blow the whistle. He took forever to get to the corner, and after he got position, he saw the puck in behind the net. Semenov with the drop pass. And Lomakin with a move around Manson. He fends off Larmer. Belfour makes the save, doesn't know where the puck is. Conrad tried to put it under him. Marawelli still not around. Finally, he finds the puck in the net. Well, 2-1 hockey game. After Irbe shut the door on the Hawks power play, the Riga team comes right back and makes it a game.
Belfour up under his own power and will continue on. And here's the draw now taken by Dinamo Riga. Centering pass picked off by Larmer. Larmer rolled it out to center ice. Now Skozarev in his own end. There's going to be a Hawk penalty coming up. And as Larmer controls the whistle sound. The Russians of the power play, they trail 2-1 on Sports Vision and BBS.
Steve Larmer gets a tripping penalty at 15-11, a questionable call. Larmer had the puck, lost it. Well, there had been a delayed offside. He got the stick into the skate of the Russian defenseman, and another power play opportunity for Riga. This will be their fourth in the game. They have not scored on their 3 previous power plays. But a big kill situation for Chicago in a 2-1 hockey game.
Dave Manson tries to waste a little time. He does, and then clears. Graham Hustling's going to get there. But Chudinov drills him into the end board. Now Chudinov gave it to Varyanov. He's forced to turn. Varyanov. Now gave it to Belyavsky. Belyavsky gets it to the Hawk line. Stopped there by Manson, who stood up beautifully. Now cleared over to the far corner. Basson looking to clear it. He did get it outside the line as it bounced over the stick of Zanoyev.
Very aggressive forechecking by the Blackhawks. A very disciplined style. They're shut off the middle, forcing Riga to change their plans. It's something that they don't do very often. They stick to their game plan no matter what. The Hawks have been able to keep them out of their own zone. A minute 10 remaining in Larmer's tripping penalty.
The Soviet players getting an earful from their coach, Yerzanov. He was trying to make a line change. And a couple of players slow to get over the boards. And when they finally did, referee Marawelli said, my hand was in the air. And their coach, Yerzanov, only now getting the blood pressure back down a little bit. That face was a crimson color seconds ago. Now as it's dumped into the Russian zone, the Soviets able to complete their player change. And here's Smirnov. Long feed well in front of Yashin, and the whistle sounds.
As I said, if you can put pressure on their defensemen, get on them quickly, then they're in trouble because their forwards are up so high. There's a lot of room from the defense to the forwards. The forwards, two forwards outside the red line, looking for that long pass.
Just under a minute left on the Dinamo Riga power play. 2-1 in favor of the Hawks. Late in the second period. Now the draw taken by Smirnov. Leave it to Selianin. Sergei Selianin's pass up the middle, knocked away from Semenov. Came back to Selianin. Selianin flips it away. Semenov carries it into the Chicago zone, rolling into the corner. Murray took his man off the play, allowing Yanni to clear. And it was knocked down with a high stick. And so the draw brought all the way back into the Soviet zone. The whole thing started because Troy Murray played his man beautifully.
Troy Murray taking the body, forcing the Riga player to dump it into the corner. Yanni was able to get to it, and a nice play by Yanni. Turned quickly and up the middle, knocked down with a high stick. The face-off automatically goes into the Riga zone. 21 seconds remaining in Larmer's penalty. 3:10 remaining in the second period. Hawks could be very easily up by 3 or 4 goals. And once again, another puck at the feet of Belfour. He was unable to find it. It was eventually poked in. That's happened 3 or 4 different times in the last few games.
Here's Kirch stepping into the Hawk zone. Kirch on right wing, turns along the board. Dropped it back and it bounced away from Frolov back to center ice. Akulinin with a bouncing puck, able to corral it. Gave it to Frolov. He cleared it to center ice. Kirch tied up by 2 Hawks there, but then he got it back. Kirch's speed broken up, and the Soviet team offside anyway. We welcome you from Sports Channel America here to Chicago Stadium. The Blackhawks late in the second period have a 2-1 lead over Dinamo Riga. Steve Conroy and Steve Larmer scoring for Chicago in the first period, and Yashin answering for the Soviets here late in the second period.
The Riga team with only 1 scoring chance in this second period, and they scored on it.
Back of his own goal. The penalty over. Both teams are back at full strength as Manson steps over the Russian line, shoots one, it deflects into the corner. Now Varianov trying to clear it. He's hammered by Manson as he dumped it into the Hawk zone. And Baston comes out with it. Rolled it to center. Mike Stapleton works it over the line. Put it to Baston. His drive, and he missed the net. Aaron's all the way back into the Chicago zone. Yanni shooting it in. Taken by Zinoyev, back of the net. His pass picked off by Brown in center. With a minute and a half to go in the second period. There's Troy Murray, centered one. Pass pretty hot to handle with Mackey all alone in front, but he couldn't connect on it. And at center ice, Chudnov rolled it over to the far side. Now came loose to Selianin in his own end. His pass bounced over the line. Lomakin walks in, shoots, fell for the save. Great chance there for Lomakin. But the Hawk goaltender Belfour squeezing the pads together at the last second. Yashin carries it back over the Hawk line. Knocked down by Yanni, and the Hawks get away with one there. Now in the Chicago zone, center, and here's Semenoff right in, and a big save by Belfour. Rebound, Semenoff in behind against Larmer. They duel behind the Hawk goal. Got free to Lomakin on the far board. Now Yashin rolled it to the near corner. Yanni tied up, wanting to freeze it along the boards. Unable to do so. Back of the net, Yashin. Yashin to the far side, leaving for Semenoff. Here's a long shot that missed the target, and the second period comes to an end. A big flurry by Dinamo Riga on the final shift of the period, but Ed Belfour with a couple of key saves to keep the Blackhawks out in front. In the second period, just one goal scored, Sergei Yashin for Dinamo Riga from Lomakin and Semenoff at 14:51 to bring the Soviet Union close. Shots on goal in the second period. Dinamo Riga had 10 shots. The Blackhawks had 7. Two-period totals 20 for Chicago and 18 for Dinamo Riga. News, weather, and sports coming up on the radio side. On television, we're going to have a feature on the different sizes of hockey rinks around the world. After 40 minutes of play, it's Chicago 2, Dinamo Riga 1. The score in the second intermission is Chicago 2, Dinamo Riga 1. Stay tuned for the third period faceoff. A strong surge by Dinamo Riga toward the end of the second period brought them to within a goal, and they very nearly tied it with a great flurry right at the tail end of the period. And Dale, their veteran line, the line that came from Dinamo Moscow, has been a big thorn in the Blackhawks' sides here tonight, especially the longer this game has gone. But Semenoff, Yashin, and Lomakin have been, I think, by far the top Dinamo Riga line in this game.
They've been a top line in the world. They have a lot of experience. There are only 5 guys on this Riga team that have had international experience. Semenoff is 26, Lomakin's 24, and Yashin's 26, and they've already played in a lot of world competition. Depend on WBBM for the exclusive AccuWeather forecasts around the clock. Chicago's most accurate weather information from AccuWeather, only on WBBM News Radio 78. And a reminder, after tonight's game, stay tuned for the Dave Baum Show. Dave talks with the day's newsmakers and you on the Dave Baum Show on WBBM News Radio 78. Mike Keenan behind the bench. His club has played well. Should have the lead, should have a bigger lead. But it's only 2-1, and it'll be interesting to see what kind of condition this hockey club is in. Coming off a mini training camp for a couple of days at Notre Dame University with 2-a-day practices.
Here we go with the third period. And the Soviets now. Semenoff walks over the line to the far side. Yashin, a drive and a save by Belfour. The rebound to Creighton. Adam Creighton tried to clear it, but Presley went down along the boards. Now, the Hawks able to clear it to center ice. Salianen leading ahead. Lomakin to the line, lost the handle there, and Steve Thomas the other way. Thomas trying to feed Presley, but it rolls back into the Soviet zone. Frolov to Lomakin. His pass bounces free to Yanni. Brent Yanni carries it over the Riga line. Rolled it into the near corner. Basson puts it around the board. Brown on the far side. Chipped it in behind the net. Stolen there and cleared out by Durden back into the Chicago end. Bob Basson now hoisting one back into the Dinamo Riga zone. Durden ahead to Kirch, who tries to take a dive. The play continues. And Durden in his own end. Chipped it out to the Chicago line. McGill banks it to Noonan, puts Mackey over the line, cuts in, shooting, and a save by Irbe as Mackey tries to move in front again. He's shot. Irbe, nice save with the right pass. Rebound controlled by the Riga team, and Kirch got it to center. Durden to the line. His shot blocked right back into the neutral zone. Zenoyev now cleared it to Varianov. He's put it deep into the Chicago end, taken by Steve Larmer. We're just underway here in the third period. Welcome to our viewers on Sports Channel America. Blackhawks nursing a 2-1 lead against Dinamo Riga. A good hockey game so far here tonight at Chicago Stadium. A spirited game, rather physical at times. As this young Riga club tries to even up their record. So far they're 1-2-1 on this tour through North America. Play is in the Soviet zone. Presley tried to center it, hit a leg. Here's a shot, and Creighton drifted one wide. Now Thomas tried to center, hit a leg into the corner. Presley. Wayne Presley lost the handle along the boards, and it's cleared to the Chicago line. Dave Manson walks around and check, tees up a long one, and in faking the shot, he faked Adam Creighton offside on the play. Early in the third, Hawks 2, Dinamo Riga 1. On Sports Vision and WBBM. Now here's the draw. Cleared into the Riga zone. Smirnov, but avoiding a check, but coughing up behind the net. Stapleton looking to make a play, was knocked down. Now Basson got it into the corner. Stapleton had it knocked off his stick. And the Soviet defenseman Selyanin shot it to center ice. Taken there by Hates. He coughed it up. Here's Noonan into the Dinamo Riga zone. Selyanin knocked it off his stick. And Smirnov cleared it to center ice. Hates with a pass that Troy Murray steals. Back into his own end. McGill. Long feed, missing Mackey, sliding the length of the ice, and it'll be an icing call against Chicago.
Different start to this third period, Patrick. The second period, it looked like Riga didn't want anything to do with the Blackhawks. The first 5-6 minutes, they coughed it up, didn't look ready. But after that late goal to make it 2-1, the more spirited start for them in this, the third.
The Soviet line that's on the ice now, centered by Anatoly Semenov, has been the best line for Dinamo Riga tonight. Semenov, Yashin, and Lomakin.
It's amazing what some international experience can do for a line. This line is certainly not intimidated by this building, by the crowd, and the physical play of the Blackhawks in the first two periods.
Sanapass, a converted left wing, playing center in the last couple of games for the Hawks, able to beat the veteran Soviet player Semenov for the draw, and Conroy slides it to center. Frolov shooting it back in. Now Steve Conroy tossed it up in traffic. Back of the net it goes. Yashin tried to center it, and Belfour blocked that pass, and Graham able to roll it into the Riga zone. Frolov nicely up the middle to Semenov, stepping over the line for Yashin. The return pass. Semenov centered one too far for Larinov, or Lomakin in front. Now back into his own end, big Dmitry Frolov. Frolov's pass hit the skate of his partner Chudnov, but he's able to slip it out to center. Where knocked down was Akulinin, and Steve Thomas on the left wing board, flipping it into the Soviet zone. Hammered around the boards by Zenoyev. Yanni held it in. Oh, an elbowing call should have been made on Presley. He just hammered Beliavsky, but got away with one. And here comes Alexander Beliavsky to the line, and he's knocked down there by Brown. And out comes Thomas. Steve Thomas into the Russian zone. He's separated from the puck aggressively by Zanoyev, and we mentioned it's been a physical game. It's starting to pick up again here in the third. Akulin into the corner. Tied up there by Stapleton. A host of players joining in. Now the Soviets digging loose. Here's Akulin centering, and the pass didn't click as McGill able to capture it. McGill rolls it around the boards for Mike Eagles. He feeds Stapleton. Nice steal by Chudinoff. Putting it over the line. Kirch makes the shot and then lost it to Eagles. Mike Eagles with a long drive and an easy stop for Archer Irbe. Now here come the Riga Rushmen with the attack broken up to Troy Murray. He cleared it but not out. Smirnoff put it back in behind the Hawks net. Comes loose to Skozarev on the near side. He's bumped off the play. Now he got it back. Here's a shot. Fell for the save on Skozarev. Rebound to Mackey. Dave Mackey rolling it out to center ice. Now Mackey steals one. Cuts in behind the goal. Centering. And it deflects in front to Zanarok. Moving over the Hawk line. Drops one to Hayes. His shot, and it's saved by Belfour. Rebound, Zanarok centered it right through the goal crease. And Yanni there to pick it up. Trent Yanni met some of these Soviet players in the last Olympic Games in Calgary. Rolling it into the Russian zone. Frolov. Now sending it ahead to Hayes. 6'4" Hayes. Got it around behind the goal. Now Graham on the right wing boards for Chicago. Forced to turn in his own end. And Graham now turns again at center ice. Bert Graham only shooting it in as the Hawks will head for a player change. Frolov knocked down at center. And in the Soviet way of thinking, rather than dumping it in, wanting to maintain control, put it back into his own end. And it deflects to the far side where Frolov able to pick it up and carry to center ice. Clearing it to Yashin, who's tied up as he came into the offensive zone. And back in his own end, Zanoyev around the boards for Semenov. Semenov cleared it ahead. Lomakin over the line against McGill, trying to move in. He goes down, and McGill's going to get a penalty. And as the Hawks control the whistle sound, 11 and a half minutes to go in the third. Hawks 2, Dinamo Riga 1. Back in a moment on Sports Vision at WBBM.
A more spirited Riga team in the start of this third period. Hates a big lanky right winger, let it go, and Belfour with a good save and then batted away. Manson lost his stick and was able to take Zanarok off the puck. And then Trent Yanni came to clear, and McGill with the clasping holding penalty at 8:37. This will be the 5th Riga power play. Yashin looked like he had a step on McGill. McGill got a hold of him, and down he went, and Marawelli not giving the Hawks any break at all.
Semenov and Graham for the draw, which Semenov wins. Now knocked away by Larmer to center. But the Soviets get back in a hurry. Now Semenov back over the Hawk line. Lost the handle. Conroy for Larmer. He clears it down all the way.
Well, Larmer would have had a breakaway. He poked it away. Didn't get a break as it deflected off the defenseman's skate.
Errant pass picked off by Manson, who fires it back the other way. Now Semenov along the left wing board. Gains the line. His pass deflects to the far corner. And the Hawks get to it there and clear it to center ice. Smirnoff. Gave it to Sergei Selyanin. Now Semenov on the Riga power play. Semenov to Lomakin, rolling it ahead. Yashin dropped it to the line. Lomakin into the near circle. still hanging on. Lomakin rolled it to the deep slot. Here's shooting off a shot and a save. Rebound. Belfort covers it up with some heavy battling going on in the slot in front of Ed Belfort.
Well, Manson doing all the muscle work in front. And great passing by the Soviet team. Chudinov lets it go. The shot right on target, but Conroy in front doing battle with Yashin. Semenov was also there as Manson tried to move him from in front of the net, but Belfort was able to see it. Good work by both Hawk defensemen, clearing the front of the net so that Belfort could see that shot from Chudinov. Coming into this game, Chudinov led the Riga team in scoring with 4 assists in the 4 previous games. Riga 1-2-1 in their 4 games. Red Army losing to Pittsburgh. Now the overall record, Soviet Union 4 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties.
We mentioned it early in our broadcast tonight, but for those who just joined us, this Dinamo Riga team has tried to make their living defensively. They've not shown a lot of offense in their games in the series so far. 9 goals they scored in their first 4 games in this Super Series. Scoring 9, allowing 13. Now with a power play chance. Chudinov had it knocked away by Larmer. He couldn't get it out though. Chudinov near board Varyanov. He hangs on. Dropped it to Chudinov. Gave it back to Varyanov. Again to Chudinov. Put it to the far side. Taken there by Zinoyev to Chudinov. A one-timer and he just missed the net. Back of the goal it goes. Now Zanarok dug it out to Zinoyev, beating Chudinov. And let's see, I think the Hawk goal may have been dislodged and nobody noticed for some time, but some fans hollering alerted the officials and the whistle sound.
The penalty expires. Good work again by the Hawk penalty killers. They've not given up a power play goal. Riga had possession, but most of the work around the perimeter and not much from in close. Mike Keenan has had some experience against Soviet teams and international competition, coaching in the Canada Cup. A very exciting Canada Cup win for Mike Keenan in the NHL.
Just past the halfway mark of the 3rd period, 2-1 in favor of the Blackhawks. Both Chicago goals came in the 1st period. Dinamo Riga with 1 in the 2nd. Conroy and Larmer for Chicago. Yashin for the Soviets. Here's Steve Conroy clearing it in. Frolov put it up the boards. Perch couldn't get it out. But now it winds up back at the Hawk line. Conroy, a 2-line pass to Thomas and a whistle. With 8 minutes 56 seconds to go in the 3rd. 2-1 Chicago. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel. With Dale Talon, Pat Foley back in Chicago Stadium. 2-1 in favor of the Hawks. The Soviets with their kid line out there now. 3 20-year-olds. Vidolich centering for Hates and Tomanis. All 3 Soviet players just a meager 20 years of age, getting themselves a chance for some international competition on this tour. Bruce Cassidy for the Hawks. Rolling it ahead, but offside was Eagles. And a whistle.
Frolov, the defenseman's only 22. He's 6'4", and they put the veteran Durden. He's 32, one of 2 30-year-olds in this hockey club.
Down the roster of this Dinamo Riga team, a lot of players between the ages of 20 and 24. This is a very, very youthful team. Now Smirnov clearing it over the line. Here's a drive and a save by Belfort as Semenov ripped a hard shot. Mackey on the near side. Dave Mackey recently recalled from the Saginaw Hawks in the IHL, unable to clear it. Now Trent Yanni hammers it around the boards. Held in by Yashin, trying to center it. Deflects into the near circle. Now to the line and bounced away to center, but the Russians are back in offside. 8 minutes for the third. 2-1 Chicago. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the NHL on Sports Channel. In the Chicago zone, Chudinov bounces one into the deep slot. Now corralled by Larmer. And he's knocked down at center, but able to whack it in. Chudinov to Zanoyev. Dmitry Zanoyev. Waiting at center, then flips it over the line. Zanarok hammered along the boards by Conroy, but he held the puck centering, and the drive from Zanoyev deflected harmlessly into the seats.
This is as physical a game as the Blackhawks have played all season long throughout the entire game. They've had periods in games where they've thrown their weight around, but they've done it through the entire game. And it's been clean, hard hitting. Very few cheap shots. They played very controlled and very aggressively.
Well, we mentioned the Blackhawks at the halfway point of the season with 10 wins only in last place in the Norris Division, and Mike Keenan, with only this exhibition game this week, said enough's enough, and he went to son of training camp. He took the Blackhawks on a bus down to South Bend, Notre Dame University. Here's Steve Thomas with a shot. The save made by Irbe. Rebound into the near corner. Creighton digging it out. Trying to center it. Goes through to the far side. Now Thomas. They rolled it to the side of the net, but Irbe swats it away. Held in by McGill. A long drive. Tip and a save. Rebound and score! And Creighton picked the rebound away from Irbe and fired it a backhander. 3-1 in favor of the Blackhawks.
Adam Creighton has been acquired from Buffalo. Has taken advantage of that tremendous reach of his, and all the games he's played since becoming a Blackhawk. He's been a positive force. The shot, clearing attempt kept in by McGill. The shot on goal. Creighton with a good job of picking up the rebound and stuffing it in on the backhand. Good position by Creighton. Excellent shot by McGill. Accurate shot right on target. As Frolov coughed it up as he was being pressured, and the Hawks have a 3-1 lead with 6:55 to go.
First goal for the Blackhawks since the late part of the first period. Here come the Soviets now. Hates trying to cut for the net. Forced in behind by Yanni, who rubs him off there. Now Tomanis in the corner, and it's knocked loose by Stapleton. Now Soviets try to keep the heat on. Tomanis then lost it to Stapleton. Now to Eagles. Mike Eagles just shoots it in as the Blackhawks head for a player change. But Noonan's going to get to it in the corner. Ryan Noonan looking to move in front. That play broken up, then stolen by Troy Murray. Put it in behind the net. Irbe shot it into the corner. Taken there by Mackey. Back of the goal to Murray. Troy Murray on a move in front. Vito Lynch vetoed that move. Now Noonan digging it out, and Irbe slots it away with a big poke check. But Tomanis couldn't get it out. However, now the Soviets do. Selianin just handed it right to Manson. Rolling it over the line. And the Hawks, Noonan ruled to be offside. And got a hit, a late hit from Smirnov. But there will not be a call. With the score, the Hawks 3, Dinamo Riga 1. Back in a moment on Sports Vision at BBN. million-dale talent in Chicago Stadium. An excited Blackhawk crowd on hand tonight. A good crowd turning out. 16,248 for this exhibition game. Dale, I started to talk about Mike Keenan regrouping his forces. 2-a-day practices for the Blackhawks as they went into semi-seclusion in South Bend, Notre Dame University. And Keenan said, we need to refocus everything, all our energies and our commitment for the second half of the season.
That was a great move.
So far, paying some dividends here tonight as the Hawks trying to get a little wind in their confident sails, which haven't had much in them with a disastrous first half of the NHL season. Down to 5 minutes remaining in the third period. 3-1 here in favor of the Hawks.
A nice flip in by McGill and great hang time for 4.8.
Now the Soviets move out. Marianov over the line on drop pass, broken up by Presley to Graham. To Presley, carries it over the line, cuts in, shoot, and a save by Irving. Rebound, center pass. Irving diving to Presley. He scores! Wayne Presley on the third chance. Bangs it in. It's 4-1.
Presley finally got a hold of it after Graham. And a 2-on-0 situation was being angled off. He dumped it across to Presley, who finally located it. Then used the defenseman as the screen. He picks it up on the near board. Stops. Quick wrist shot. Irbe makes the save. The rebound. Sanapass kicks at it. It comes right back to Presley, and he stuffs it in to make it 4-1 Chicago with 4:38. And this crowd is excited. Standing with 4:38 remaining. Presley, who had a 3-on-1 break in the second, failed to pass. Took advantage of the screen. And Irbe, who struggled with the rebound most of this game, gives up 2 rebounds, and it results in a Presley goal.
Here's Thomas over the line. He cuts for the net, shooting. Irbe the save, and this time he's able to corral it.
Steve Thomas has had an excellent game. Could have had very easily 3 or 4 goals. He's had great chances like this in every period.
Well, to boil it down, he's just had an excellent season so far for the Chicago Blackhawks. He's been one of the more consistent players they've had.
Off to a slow start, but really in the last 20 games, he's been as good as anyone.
Elianin in his own end. Clears it ahead. Here comes Lomakin over the line to Semenoff. Drew it across. Here's the drive. And a save by Belfour on Smirnoff. Rebound to Thomas. Gave it to Presley, who flips it to the center ice area. Elianin. His speed hit a skate. And Eagles steals, gains the line. Forced to turn on the board, so shot it in deep. Basson. Bob Basson. Trying to center one, goes through to the far board and then cleared back to the Chicago line.
3 centermen, Basson, Stapleton, and Eagles, and they've had an excellent night with great pressure and good work defensively.
Now, here come the Soviets. The veteran Durden puts it over the Hawk line. Hates into the corner against Basson. Cleared around behind the net. Now dug out of there. Here's Durden, a shot. That didn't get through the traffic. Big scramble behind the goal. Now the puck came free to Manson. Leading Eagles, and he'll bang it back into the center ice area. 3 minutes remaining. Roloff feathers it over the line. Kane's coming in center. Here's the drive. Hit the goal post. Hard drive by Vito Lynch. Beat Belfour only to hit the far post. And now the fans begin a USA chant here in the stadium as a 2-line pass is accepted by Mackey. Blackhawks 4, Dinamo Riga 1. On Sports Vision and WBBS.
The Riga team with one of their few good scoring chances hit the post. 2 posts in this game, one by Vito Lynch and one earlier by Frolov.
McGill harassed in his own end, gloves the puck to himself, and now bounces it out to center ice. Here comes Noonan over the line. Gave it to Murray in the corner for Noonan to the near side. Ryan Noonan rolling it in deep. Mackey back of the goal. Got it to Noonan. Noonan tries to center. It didn't get through. And now cleared to center ice. Lomakin. Wait! Marawali was just dumped by a Soviet player. Smirnov just came over and flipped referee Dan Marawali, it appears. As there's a gathering in front of the Hawk bench. And Soviet defenseman Alexander Smirnov appeared to take Dan Marawali and flip him.
And meanwhile, Lomakin was just run over by McGill right at the Hawk bench by the glass partition just inside the Hawk blue line. Lomakin with tremendous stick handling ability, but McGill played the body perfectly and then hammered him into the Chicago net. Meanwhile, Smirnov offended Marawali, and Smirnov sent off. Well, Smirnov just losing it. If we did that in the National Hockey League, that would be at least a 40-game suspension. Great defensive play by McGill, and then he gives him the extra shove. And Lomakin went crashing into the boards. Well, the Blackhawks have dominated this entire 60-minute game with hits like this. And this is one of the more aggressive hits by McGill. But most of the hits have been clean, solid hits. That could maybe have been a roughing penalty, but it's been all Chicago.
I'm trying to remember, Dale. Remember in the first period there was a Soviet player that appeared to spit at Adam Creighton. Was that Smirnov too?
I think it was Chudinov. He was
Chudinov. Yeah, that's right.
He was chewing some snuff or something. True to his name.
Dinaмо penalty number 8, Alexander Smirnov. 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct, a 10-minute misconduct, and a game misconduct at the 18-minute mark.
I don't think the Russian hierarchy will look too highly on that. We might never hear of Smirnov ever again.
Except in your glass.
We might not even see that anymore. they might take it off the whole continent.
But that just an awful play by the Soviet player. Here comes Larmer, and diving out was Irve to poke check it away. The Hawks on the power play. Larmer far board. Larmer hanging on. Threw it across to Graham. He couldn't hold the pass. As the Blackhawks enjoy a 4-1 lead and finishing off this game with a chance to add another on a power play. Here's Manson. His long shot. Irbe saw that all the way. And now clears with some help from Vitalich back into the Hawk zone. Trent Yanni puts Adam Creighton over the line. Now Zanoyev knocked it away. Taken by Presley along the board.
1 minute to play in the third period.
Trying to center it. Missing Creighton in front. Zanarok. Now bouncing it back into the Chicago zone. Into the final minute of the game. Manson. Rolling it in deep. Irbe couldn't get it out. Presley got it back to the goal. Now Creighton to the board. He took a bump. And now came loose to Chudinov. Presley harassing him. And the USA chant begins again from just over 16,000 here in Chicago. Along the boards, they battle away with 10 seconds remaining. Cleared down. Manson takes a poke at Chudinov. Let's don't get carried away here with the game over. Well, we told you it's been a physical game throughout. Not too much chippy stuff, but with the game being as physical as it has been, obviously as it has gone along, the tempers have gotten a little shorter and the nerves a little more frayed.
One thing that North Americans and NHL players have learned over the years is to control your emotions, something in the early 70s that was unlikely. But we've had more success against the Soviet teams of late in series because we've controlled those emotions and not taken chippy penalties.
Blackhawk penalty number 3, Dave Manson, 2 minutes of roughing at 19:55.
So Manson and Chudinoff with coincidental penalties here with just 5 seconds remaining.
2 minutes of roughing at 19:55.
Zanarok bumping into referee Maruelli on his way to the bench.
I think the Soviet team has really had a fair shake as far as the officiating. There are 3 straight power plays for the Blackhawks in the middle part of the first period. Other than that, the Soviet Union has had an edge.
Here's the draw, and this game is over. The Chicago Blackhawks have defeated Dinamo Riga by a score of 4-1. It's a very tired group of Chicago players, having gone through 2-a-day practices. They had a workout today, as a matter of fact, and did not arrive back here to the stadium by bus from South Bend until about a little after 5 o'clock, just a couple of hours before game time, and really did a tremendous job to maintain their enthusiasm and their level of conditioning throughout the contest.
Very few times in this game did Riga have any pressure, and it came with Yashin, Lomakin, and Semenov. They probably had the best pressure of all the Riga players, but it wasn't very often. A solid performance throughout by the Hawks. Very physical, hard-hitting game, and they deserve the win.
The ceremonial handshakes are completed as the NHL, with 2 victories tonight, now has evened up their record against the Soviet Union on this tour through North America for the 2 Russian teams. Adam Creighton for Chicago scored in the 3rd period from McGill and Thomas at 13:05. And that gave the Hawks a 3-1 lead. And then Wayne Presley scored. They announced the goal for Santa Pass, but Presley got it from Santa Pass and Graham at 15:22. The Hawks had 11 shots in the 3rd, and the Dinamo Riga club with 7. The final total is 31 Chicago shots and 25 Dinamo Riga shots. An enthusiastic game throughout here in the stadium tonight.
One of the best performances of the season for the Blackhawks. I think those 2.5 days spent at Notre Dame will pay dividends. I think they can build on this. This has got to be a big confidence builder for them to take this and take the second half by storm with some confident play, some hard-hitting, clean play, and well, they just played a solid, disciplined game and didn't waver from it throughout.
Dinamo Riga now with 3 losses, 1 victory and 1 tie of the 5 games they've played, and they have managed just 10 goals in those 5 games. The final score tonight in Chicago Stadium: Chicago 4, Dinamo Riga 1.